So these military and security persons that Erastus you follow around, how do they feel about the fact that we have weapons in the hands of Galamsey operators? How protected are they, the security persons? Are they in bulletproof vests? How protected are they? How do they feel about these things?
Well, the ones that we recently went on a fact-checking mission with were not wearing bulletproof vests. And, well, if you ask me whether they are prepared for it, for the military men, as for military men, they are prepared for anything. And you see, David, it's not that our military men or our armed forces are afraid of these bandits. No way. If I know the kind of people I've moved with, they are no way afraid of these people. But they are afraid of the people who back them up. In every situation in the forest reserve, you have somebody influential, whether at the party level or at the government level or a politically exposed person, backing them up. Those are the people that are scary, not the one on the ground. As for the one on the ground, he cannot match up a soldier on the ground with his rifle. If they are asked to protect themselves, you are nothing before them. But when you get to the field, that is where you get to all the faceless people who are behind it. In the previous administration, it happened the same thing, and they allowed them to continue because there were powerful people behind them who were supporting them to destroy the forest. And so when soldiers arrive at the place, they are called from above and say, leave that place for me because that place belongs to me, or it belongs to a friend, it belongs to so and so. And that is the problem.
So let me ask this question.
Who are armed.
Erastus, if you can hear me, let me ask this question. Before the elections of 2024, we know the stance and the conviction, the pledges and the promises then John Dramani Mahama made. He even went on to tell us that he was going to use the academia and also use AI to fight Galamsey. 3 months into his administration, what can you report? Do you see and feel the same conviction and seriousness to fight Galamsey from him?
It's been sluggish. That's the word I can use for it. Very sluggish. Some feet dragging. You can sense. And you yourself, you can sense it. That it's like somebody who wants to do something is pulling back. At this point in time, he says this is being words. He says this here, he says that there, he says that there. He has a sector minister who is also speaking. But where is the action? That is the point. Because all the beautiful things that they are saying, we are not seeing them. And that is why, after he sent me on a fact-finding mission, I decided not to keep my mouth shut. I know he has a problem with me on that one. And I've been pushing and whipping them in the butt on my social media pages to force people to act.
So when you say he's not pleased with you, whom are you referring to? The president?
Oh, everybody. Now suddenly I've become an MPP person. During the MPP era, on social media they insulted me. They said I'm an NDC agent. During the election, they said I wanted to topple Akufo-Addo's government. Now, the NDC people have started, some of them issuing threats. One wrote on my Facebook page that he wished that the Galamseyers who accosted me in the forest had killed me. But in his dreams.
Wow.
Now, I have become an NDC, an MPP activist, fighting against government. But you see, that we all campaigned and we forced the arm of the previous government to do something. They did not. We all agreed that what was happening was bad. We were not expecting that a change of government will come where the people will amass and move in. We are going to perpetrate the same illegality for which we campaigned and said no. Why can we stand behind that and defend that and allow this government to continue in that path? And that is why I'm encouraging every media house to rally around the same point. Let's devote time to impress upon this government to do what he himself promised. He promised he was going to raid forest reserves of illegal miners. Now his own people are taking over. That is not what he promised us.
Erastus, hold the line for me. Let me put some information out there.
The rivers are going to be clean. We want to do that.
Erastus, hold the line for me. So earlier we were told that the Impesatia, incident, 2 lives were lost, and then we also said we're now hearing that it's gone up to 5 lives and all that. The right information is that 2 lives have been lost, but some other people are still trapped under the rubble. That's what we can give you right now. This is according to a reporter on the assemblyman at Impesatia. That's from the assemblyman. 2 lives lost, with some people still under the rubble there. And Erastus, my heart hurts listening to you say, for example, that even now the President of the Republic is not pleased with you. Somebody who gave assurances to the people of this country that he was going to use AI to fight Galamsey. He went to UNE and said he was going to use people in academia to fight, Galamsey. And now this is his posture. What is then his difference between Nanado and him in the fight against Galamsey? Listen, from where you have been to, Erastus, this year alone, tell me this. Do you see any improvement whatsoever, the slightest improvement in anything in terms of the fight against Galamsey from the river bodies that we have, the Pra, the Densu, the Ankrobra, the Tano, the Bia? Do you see any improvement? Our forest, the Tano, Nimri and all that. Do you see any improvement whatsoever, or is the same, could you?
David, it's getting worse. And let me explain why. I'm not saying it out of, in few you say, Bosrimuka, and you're Bosrimuka Name. See, I have been on the Ankobra in the past 1 month. I spent 2 hours on the Ankobra in a boat from the estuary because, there is high tide and the sea has blown over the Ankobra. So you could see the Ankobra green from the estuary. That is seawater covering the nakedness of the Ankobra River. When you move and get to a town called Ishim, it starts getting brown from there. And all the way I have traced down to a town called Awudia in the western region. David, the Ankobra has been totally blocked. It's been banked. They have used excavators to create an embankment. And so the Ankobra is not flowing anymore. And it's a thick, muddy water that is stagnated. Administration, it did not happen. So I am surprised that under this administration, they have been able to block the Ankobra at Christia Hemai. They've divided it into 2 and divided, and they are sitting on the basin on the other half, mining. Can you imagine that? When you go to the Pra, Chifu Praso, on the bridge there, previously on the bridge there, beneath the bridge, you will not see any champagne machine. Now, there are countless champagne machines sitting under the bridge on the Pra River. Almost all along the Pra River, people are mining along it, dumping their mining residue and waste directly into the river. Now go to Samra Boy, the Tano River. It will shock you. You will weep. If you are somebody who loves nature, you will weep. Look at how these Chinese criminals, and I call them criminals because these are infractions that in their country they would have been beheaded. But they have pitched camp at the edge of the river. They are using the river to wash the mining residue, and they are directing it, the poisonous things, directly into the Tano River. And there are such operations along the Tano from Atala, Uhiam Penika, the Tano, all the way. And you ask yourself, how foolish can we be to the extent that we, as Ghanaians, allow foreigners to pitch camp at the edge of a major river like that and wash directly into it? And I blame the president because this has been brought to your attention. We have filmed it, we have shown it on Joy News, we have sent copies to the sector minister, we have briefed him. Yet, he is yet to take action. If that is not deliberate, what is it? So they are behaving like the same under the previous administration, where the president, Nana Akufo-Addo, turned a blind eye and a deaf ear to what we were saying. We kept publishing these things, and he kept being silent about it.
So Erastus, tell me, the farmers around this area, how are they managing the situation? How are they coping?
Nobody is farming close to the tunnel. Nobody. Go there and talk to the farmers. They will tell you they rely on rainfall. When the rain doesn't come, that's it. Some of them who are eager to grow tomatoes and pepper and other things, they carry the water from the house about 8 miles into the forest to water their crops. What kind of nation allows its citizens to behave in such a foolish manner?
Fortunately, we are eating from their crops. We are drinking these same water. And of course, the Ghana Water Company will tell you that they cannot do away with the heavy metals in the water that they're treating. Erastus, once again, indulge me. Hold the line for me.